Okay, so converting miles to feet, we're going to start with 1.2 miles, and we're going to have to convert this yards first. So we're going to use this 1 mile equals 1760 yards. Okay, so we're going to have 1 mile on the bottom, 1760 yards on top, and then we want to convert those yards into feet. So we know that we have 1 yard equals 3 feet. Okay, so these units cancel out. We want to convert, and that's I think where we want to stop because we want to end up with feet. So I'm going to do 1.2 miles. Okay, again, times on top, divide on bottom, so it's just divide by ones. So it's going to be 1.2 times 1760 times 3 feet is going to give me 6,336 feet. So 6,336 feet. Okay, and my units all work out. And using a proportional equation would be a little bit harder because we have to do two sets of calculations, where here, two conversions is being done with one calculation. Okay, so let's try 300,000 inches. We're going to convert this to feet first. So we have 12 inches on the bottom, 1 foot on top. Okay, so those cancel out. We're going to convert feet to yards. So we have 3 feet on the bottom, 1 yard on the top. Cancel those out. And we want to convert yards to miles. So we're going to have yards on the bottom, miles on top. Okay, and then looking at my unit analysis, I should be left with miles. So I'm going to do the calculations, times on top, divide on bottom. So I start with 300,000. I'm going to divide by 12, divide by 3, divide by 1760. And I end up with 4.73 miles. Okay, so 300,000 inches is 4.73 miles. Okay, so what about when we talk about changing length, area, and volume? So length, area, and volume are different things. We have to be careful when we're doing this. When we have 38 meters by 20 meters, okay, so we have 38 meters across here and 20 meters across here. Now we could do this two ways. We can either convert all the meters to feet first and then calculate the square feet, and that's what I'm going to do first. Okay, so I'm going to convert my meters to feet. Okay, so when I look at my conversion, how many feet is 1 meter? Okay, do we have it here? I don't think we have it here. So we're just going to use 3.3 feet for 1 meter. Okay, there's probably a more accurate one, but we'll just use a rounded value of 3.3. So we're going to do 38, and we're going to times by 3.3 feet, and I get 125.4. Okay, so I've converted it into feet. 200 meters, 20 meters converted into feet is going to give me 66 feet. Okay, and then using those two values, using the feet value, I'm going to multiply feet times feet to give me square feet. So I multiply those together, and I end up with, it looks like 8,276.4 square feet. Okay, so that's squares made by feet. So that's one way to do it. Okay. An alternative way to do it is to convert it into meters squared. So I end up with 38 meters times 20 meters, and that's going to give me 760 square meters. And then I have to figure out what is the conversion for 1 square meter into number of square feet. Okay, and to do that, I have to take 3.3 feet for one side of the meter. I'm going to draw it here. So 1 meter equals 3.3 feet. Okay, 1 meter here equals 3.3 feet. So we're going to do 3.3 times 3.3, and that's going to give us 10.89 square feet. Okay, so 1 square meter is equal to 10.89 square feet. Okay, and then we're going to use that conversion factor. So we're going to start with square meters, and then use a square feet conversion factor of 10.89 square feet over 1 square meter. Again, additional analysis, those cancel out. So we end up with 760 times 10.89. We get the exact same answer of 8,276.4 feet squared, and we can see that the units still match. So sometimes it's more convenient to just convert the linear lengths to feet first using our conversion factor, but sometimes it's easier to work out the area conversion factor and then use that conversion factor to solve that problem. Okay, so there's two different ways to do it. One way, there's no one way to do it, in that sometimes it's easier to do it one way versus the other. Okay, so here's a similar problem, but now we're talking about cubes. Okay, so a cube has volume of 30 cubic yards. How many cubic meters are there? Okay, so if I take a look at my conversion chart here, 1 meter squared. In fact, let's just use our linear measurement. So 1 meter is approximately 0.9 yards. Sorry, 0.9 meters is approximately 1 yard. Okay, so I'm going to use this. This is kind of a crude measurement, but 0.9 meters equals 1 yard approximately. Okay, so we have a cubic meter, so a cubic yard, 30 cubic yards, and we want to know how many cubic meters there are. So what we can do, we can't just use this as our multiplier, because the cubic yards and linear yards and cubic yards have a different conversion factor. Okay, so if I were to compare square meters, it would be 0.81 square meters for 1 square yard. Okay, and if I were to multiply that by 0.9 to the third dimension, I would end up with 0.729 meters cubed for 1 yard cubed. Okay, so I'm just increasing the dimensions. This is 1 dimension, squared is 2 dimensions, cubed is 3 dimensions. And then I can use this for my conversion. So I have 30 cubic yards times, well, I have 0.729 meters cubed for 1 yard cubed. Okay, again, make sure that the units match up, and then I can multiply that through. So 30 times that, 30 times 0.729 is equal to 21.87 meters cubed. Okay, so there's 2 parts to this problem. First of all, recognizing that the linear changes are different from the area changes, which is different from the cubic changes or volume changes. Okay, the second thing is to actually calculate a conversion factor and then apply that conversion factor to convert from yards cubed to meters cubed.